All right, this one's about the prison phone system and the different maneuvers I had to get through to work past using only 300 minutes a month. Could you imagine if you was only allowed to be on your cell phone for 300 minutes a month? That's 15 minutes each time you get on. You got to wait 30 minutes and then get on for another 15 minutes, a total of 300 minutes. You get 20 of those 15-minute calls a month is all we get in prison. Could you imagine if you could only use your cell phone for 300 minutes a month? 15 minutes each time, and whenever you get on, you had to wait another 30 minutes before you could get back on your iPhone to do TikTok, YouTube, or whatever you want to do. That's what we had, but we had no TikTok, no YouTube, just to make a straight call to our family, loved ones, or to get the bag. You know what I mean? In the prison. Sit back, listen to this one right here, man, because I feel like riding. All right? You know what it is, Unique Mecca Audio, man. This one here is about the prison system and the phones, how the phones work in the prison. You only get 15 minutes per phone call, and some jails you got to wait 30 minutes to get back on. Some you got to wait an hour to get back on. Some 45 minutes. Some an hour and a half. Then you get back on. You only get 15-minute call, and that's 20 calls a month. All right. So now, when I first got to Oklahoma, they had what they call ITS-1, right? Now, ITS-1 was the first phone system they had where we only get 15 minutes, but when it hang up, you could call right back. And because it was unlimited minutes at the time, you get as many minutes as you want. So you could talk for 24 hours. Every time it hang up, you call back. Now, I get to Lewisburg, and when I get to Lewisburg, they had these old phones that had the wire coming from it. You know, when you pick it up, put it to your ear like an office phone. But picture an office phone on the wall, and then it had the rotary dial where you had the dial to make the call. But once you get through, you could stay on the phone until you hang up the phone. So if you get on at 8 in the morning, you could stay on till 12 at night, you know what I mean, when they lock down or whatever, and you just do your thing and, you know, vibe with your girl, vibe with your family members, your friends, find out what's going on the street, and you wind up, you know, transforming out of the prison and into another world, other than looking at 2,000 men running around, you know, with green army suits at the time. Because back then, when I got locked up in 94 and I went to Lewisburg in 94, we had to wear, they gave us like all the old clothes from the army was our prison uniform, you know. And then after the 95 riot, then they went and they opened up a unicorn factory, I think it was in Leavenworth, where they was making the actual prison outfits and paying dues like 65 cents an hour to make shirts and pants and underwears and t-shirts. We made all of our own clothes at 65 cents an hour, so you can imagine how much the federal government saved on that. So if you don't know that the Federal Bureau of Prison is a money train, then you don't know what time it is. And that's what I'm going to open your eyes up to today, because they have what they call a unicorn factory. When I was in Lump Park, let's ride. When I was in Lump Park, they had two unicorn factories. They had two factories there, right? They had one that did printing, where you learn how to print and you print up all the brochures and flyers and everything you need to print up for the whole BOP system. Again, 65 cents an hour. So they saving on labor. They just had to pay for materials. Then they had another factory that was called the cable factory. That's where they taught us how to make cables, to give you an idea. You know, this is a cable. So they'll give us these from scratch. They'll give us just the raw wires and this white wire, and we got and at the end of the white wire had the wires that connect to this. And then, you know, and this is considered as the male, you know, and then this is the female, you know, because this is what you plug into something, talking about this part. So we had to put these wires together, and we did complicated wires. Even I learned how to do helicopter wires. Me, couldn't read, couldn't write, making millions on the street. I go to prison, and now I'm in a Unicorn prison factory, and I'm making helicopter wires that come with big cables and connectors like this. Then you had to put the male on one and the female on another. And when you got a cable that's this big, if you're trying to make a 50-foot cable so it could run from one part of the submarine to the next part of the submarine, you it's just too big to work with, right? Matter of fact, because I feel like riding. I'm gonna tell you one. The cables look like a Michelin man when they roll it up, right? There was a white dude in there that played games with the bag. I might tell the story over again. If you want to hear the story, put in the comment. It was a white dude that was in there that didn't send the drugs up to, the special housing unit, to the leaders of, the Aryan Brotherhood, dirty white boys, skinheads, and all, the European gangs. He was supposed to send the drugs up that he bought from off the compound. He didn't send them up. They send out a hit. When they sent the hit, they took one of those big cables that I'm talking about, and while we would going to Unicorn, we had to stand on line and go get our tools, or we give our ID, and we could get a rug cutter, we could get a drill, we could get a saw. Imagine an inmate with a saw. You could get a hammer, and because you might have to bang the cables. 'Cause I told you the cables is this big. So we going up in the joint, and everybody's standing on the line. While they standing on the line waiting to get their tools to work with whatever cables they're working with, this one white dude, two white dudes rather, picked up this big, it was like a 25-foot, connector wire, and he picked it up, and from each end, and they threw it over a dude's head, and he's stuck like this now. While he's stuck like that, another one, he went up there and he went and got a hammer. They took a hammer and they beat this European in the head. The Europeans did it. Let's get it right, because you don't get outside race, things like that, or else the whole jail go up into a fiasco. But they beat him in his head with a hammer while he's stuck in a cable like the Michelin man, right? And they brain deaded him, they airlifted him, they wound up putting him in the hospital on the outside, and he was on life support, and they wanted to pull the plug on him, the BOP. His family didn't want to pull the plug, and that's where I'm gonna stop. If you want to hear the rest of the story, put it in the comment. But I say that to say that, we in there, we got all these, tools and weapons, because it's all the tools is weapons, could you imagine having a pair of scissors in your cell, and the police come in your cell, and you got a regular scissor that you use to cut things at your house, and they give you a shot. You could lose 28 days good time for that, and when you lose the 28 days good time, now you got more time on your thing, But now you come out, they give you a scissor. I keep a scissor in the car. You know what I mean? Because just to feel like, I'm getting over. Because I still got the prison mentality at times. So, you rat bastards. Go ahead, say it. I'm institutionalized. But 26 years in a joint, what do you expect? Let's keep it 100. But let me ride back to the story. So they had the ITS-1, right? So we in Lewisburg, and that's how the phones is going down. They had the MAB side and the SAN side. So while they got these two different sides, the phones come on either the MAB side on Monday, the SAN side on Tuesday, and vice versa, and they rotated that so that they could have enough police to monitor the calls if only half the jail used it one day at a time. So if they got any intel on what was going on, they'll be able to just move on and listen to the phone call of 600 men instead of 1,200 men per day. But, so Rayful Edmonds, right? Rayful Edmonds used to get on the phone, because I told you could just call and stay on long as you want, hang up, call back, and act like you was on the street, is how it felt using the phone. But now in the system, like I said, use it for 15 minutes at a time, then you got to wait between 30 minutes and an hour and a half, depending on what the jail puts on that wait period before you could get back on for another 15 minutes, and you only get 20, 15 minutes calls a month, add up to 300 minutes. So I'm extremely ecstatic, you know what I mean, to have an iPhone, that I can use whenever I want, 24 hours. I ain't got to wait to calm down. So that's just how I look at things, right? So he used to he hooked up with Gazal Blanco's son. When he hooked up with his son, Gazelle Blanco's son was serving like 5 years. He went back to Colombia. He started sending drugs back to D.C. to Rayful Edmonds people. Edmonds was giving it to his comrades. Then his comrades wasn't paying him because he in jail, and they figured he wasn't cut like that. He couldn't do nothing. So now, Gazelle Blanco's son couldn't pay off the thing over there. Then they had a hit on him for his mother and such, and they wound up bodying her son over in Colombia, But now Rayful gets arrested, and they put together indictment for him, and they give him an indictment for using the phone. And during the course of the investigating of the monitoring of the phone to see how long, how many calls you make a month, he made like 3,000 connections, right? He made 3,000 connections calling people in 30 days. And they said, nah, you're giving them too much free time and too much time to create crime. And at the time, it was like 0.0000001% of the prison population that was committing crimes, or violence over the phone, sending messages to the street. But they used that by pushing Rayful's case out there that, he was a kingpin and was still a kingpin in the prison and working from the prison on the prison phone. So they changed it from ITS 1 to ITS 2. That's where we had to wait the 15 minutes. When the ITS 1, we could use the phone whenever we want. Now, so they lock him up. He gets scared, and they offered him some Kentucky Fried Chicken. And once they offered him Kentucky Fried Chicken for him to talk, that he ate one of those good old crispy breasts, and next thing you know, his lips was just a flapping. You know what I mean? He was singing like Stevie Wonder. And now, he gives up all the information about the different things we did on the phone, how we'll call, transfer money, or the people to do this, or the people to do that. So in Congress, they went and they set a time limit and said we could use it 15 minutes a month, 20 phone call, 20 15-minute calls for the month. And, that was it. Now, once they did that, we had to figure out ways to get around only getting 300 minutes a month. Because you picture you're using your phone for 300 minutes. 60 minutes, if you talk to somebody on a phone for an hour, that's 4 phone calls. You know what I mean? So picture that. 2 hours, so you get 5 hours worth of phone calls. Imagine only using your phone five hours a month. Imagine only be able to use your phone for 5 hours a month. That's what that added up to, right? So now, we sitting there, and we got to figure out a way to get more than 300 minutes. So they gave us what they call pack numbers, which is like a credit card number. When you pick up the phone, you got to dial in your credit card number, and your money is put on your account by you going to commissary at the time, and you tell them put $20 on my phone. If you ain't got no money on Friday, you get the money on Saturday. The commissary is closed Saturday and Sunday, so you can't put money on the phone till Monday. So now you need to use someone else's phone. So you have to put your phone number on someone else's list, because they give you 30 phone calls. They give you 30 slots for you to put 30 of your close contacts on the phone, and that's it. So if you want to use someone else's phone, you got to put your contact on another phone. But then ITS, with the Intelligent Technical Service, right, what they do is they'll take your number if they're investigating you, and they'll put it in their computer the same way you go into Google or YouTube and you put in, Julio Fulio, and all his videos come up with anybody that used it. So if you put that phone number in, anywhere in that system that you put that phone number on will come up, and then they can see whose pack number you're using, because you're not allowed to use someone else's pack number. You're only allowed to use yours. That way, when you're on the phone, they could monitor you and know what you're saying. If you're using somebody else's phone, they think there's the next person talking. So if we had to make a deal, send some money, do what we ever had to do, we'll go to somebody that don't use the phone, and we'll offer them what they call books of stamps. Now, this is what a book of stamps look like. You know what I mean? So one of these was $5. So you give somebody 2 of these and say, yo, let me get your phone for a month. For $10, he give you 300 minutes for 2 of these books of stamps. So now if you need to use somebody's phone, you say, yo, let me give you, 4 stamps. You know what I mean? And, I get a phone call. So now they take that, then they go buy some cookies, cupcakes, zooms, and wham whams, or they go put money on a ticket, or that gets them closer towards getting a joint of weed or a bag of dope or whatever they want to use to make their time go by. Some even, use gambling. So now you take that, right? And we get on the phone on someone else's pack number, because we give them our number, they turn in that list, they put our number on their list, we go make the call, they dial in their pack number, and then they say their name, because it's voice recognition also with that. That's so you can't say it wasn't you from the voice recognition. So once they did that, we get up in there now. Now we on somebody's old phone, and now we can talk reckless as we want, because they're not monitoring that person, because they never use the phone. They'll never find out that it was you until they run your pack number, and then they run the camera back that's pointed on the phone to verify that was you on the phone at that time. So that's how they verify, because they really had no voice recognition. And I beat a lot of voice recognition, using other people's pack number. Incident reports is what they call it, because I always said it wasn't me. You know what I mean? Now they had to prove it. Then they got one smart ass cop, right? I was in Coleman, Florida. One smart ass cop. I went to DHO. I told him, the dude that I used his pack number, he went in and he straight ratted. You know what I mean? He was a straight rat bastard, right? He's an Indian dude, Native American. He went in, he straight ratted. Because, you buy the Native American phones, because they're not really into that, and they're communicating with the family, like that in the prison. And they don't have, but they do got money, because they get a check every month just from living on the reservation. Some of them get like $2,000, $3,000 a month. You know what I mean? Because they was the first indigenous citizens here. So therefore, even though they took their land, which is the whole United States, they said, we're going to give anybody that live on your land with your Indian blood within you, we're going to give you X amount of dollars a month, compensation. So when you get locked up, you still get that money. But they'll spend the money during the month by getting stuff on credit, and then when that check come, they pay everybody off. So now they ain't got no money, so now they selling their pack number. I'm on the phone, and I can tell somebody, yo, go see such and such, go get 4 of them joints, and put them together in 4 of them joints, and make sure you double them up, because that acid in your stomach might eat up the balloons and bust a balloon in you. And if the acid eat it up, bust the balloons, and you got heroin in you, you're going to OD and you're going to die. Rest in peace to the comrades that died in the struggle trying to make $1, bringing that heroin in the prison system, and it opened up within them. Because we should always pray for the dead, not speak negative about the dead. So all you rat bastards said you giving a man a prayer that was bringing heroin into prison. Yes, because he's one of us. And, under these extravagant circumstances, we do extravagant things. So we lost a few of them like that. So now, you get on the phone, you say, yo, make sure you bring 5 balloons and whatever. You can say whatever you want, because you're not even on your phone. So some people just talk reckless like that, because they don't even give a crap about the person's phone they're using on. They think that they're not going to be using it. So that's how that worked out, right? So now they stop, and they run your phone number in it, and they see that you use that joint. You know what I mean? That you was on such and such a phone, such and such a time. They had a one smart ass cop, like I told you, right? What he did was, being that I beat the shot, I was gonna beat the shot when I went to DHO, because I said it wasn't me. And the rat bastard that was with me, he pled guilty. So they said, hold up, the dude that phone the call was made on pled guilty. So if he pled guilty, right? If he pled guilty, how you gonna plead not guilty, and your co-defendant already pled guilty that he allowed you to use his phone? I said it wasn't me. You know what I mean? They said, but we hear your voice on the phone, and the number that's on the phone is a number that you have on your list, and you had on your list for the last 10 years. I said it wasn't me. You know what I mean? And they said, but I said, no, show me it was me. Because the phone number, okay, show me that was me talking on the phone. We understand my phone number was on that list. Maybe he stole my number. You know what I mean? And, he was calling my girl. You trying to tell me he talking to my girl? Oh, I'm going to have to crush this dude. Why would you tell me something like that? He said, no, we're not telling you that, Unique. We're not telling you that. But we telling you that we know it was you on the phone. I said, nah, it wasn't me. He said, we're going to postpone it. So when they postponed it, I come back the next week, the dude that told, I wound up crushing him. He wound up getting to the hole, stabbing him up real bad, Yeah, I got no remorse for it. Let me just say that. Even right now, as a free man trying to get my life, they got no remorse for it. Because at the time, that's what he warranted, and that's the life I was living then. But now I might have had a little remorse, but right now I ain't got crap. He deserved what he got, the knife up in him for telling on me. So he gets off the compound. I go in the next week, and I just know I'm good, you know. So now they go in there, they feud. Oh, you know, inmate got stabbed up in his cell. We don't know who did it. Da, 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 and so many people going in and out of the cell, and you know. It didn't dawn on me. They just said so many people going in and out of the cell. They said, we even seen you go in the cell, but we seen other people going after you, you know, because then I told them, I said, no, other people went in the cell. You know what I mean? So they tried to say, no, but you was the last one in the cell. I said, no, I wasn't the last one in the cell. You know what I mean? But what happened is after I stabbed them up, his people went in there and they was robbing them, taking the stuff. So there was other people going in the cell. So it wasn't just me as the last one in the cell. So they couldn't put it on me. It could have been any one of the other people that went in and robbed him after, you know, he got stabbed up. So that's why I tell you youngins, don't go to jail. It ain't worth it, man. Picture living like this, you know what I mean? You getting stabbed up and your homies going there and stealing on your property while you laying down there telling them, yo, call the hospital, call the deuces, call the nurse, call somebody. And they're like, hold on, where's Lock at? Let me get them stamps. You know, let me get his radio. Let me get his sneakers. Let me get his sweatsuit. Let me get his suits. And they taking everything from while he's laying there taking his last breath as he deserved for being a rat bastard. Let's get that straight. That's why I say don't get involved in the streets so you don't have to have this mentality, because I don't want you to have this mentality, and I don't want you to have to even think like I'm twisted. I know I'm twisted. Let's get that straight. So now I'm in front of the DHO, right? Let's ride back to the DHO. That's called a disciplinary hearing officer. Out here, that's called a judge. So I'm in front of the judge, and she said, yo, the guy got stabbed up, and this and that happened, and that. And I said, okay, what I got to do with me? Well, you was using his phone, he told on you, and we already know how you feel about people telling, you know. I said, I have no problem with rat bastards. And they say, see what you said? You call him a rat bastard. I said, okay, so what do you call someone that straddles the fence and is, you know, or someone, a dog that's, or a child that's, you know, a German and Hungarian? You know what I mean? They said, we call them future United States citizens. I said, what? You know, this is what my mentality was back then. I said, no, they're rat bastard. Because they're mixed breed. And they look at me like, oh, let's get this hearing started. So now they get it started. I just know I got it beat. So I'm sitting there all cocky. I'm waiting to go back. All I'm thinking about is that bottle of white lightning that's coming down. My man brewing it right now. I'm getting ready to go smoke me a good old joint and get it back on somebody else's pack number. So I walked in that joint. And can you believe that the lieutenant came in and he brought a little manila folder with him, and he pulled out some big 8x10 pictures of me coming out my cell, going down to the phone, getting on the phone and talking on the phone, and it had the time stamp on it, and that was the phone that my man's pack number was used on. So they did some real investigative report and busted my ass, right? So now after they busted me for using the phone, they said, okay, but this is you. And I said, nah, that's not me. You know what I mean? So they look and say, no, this is you right here. But when I went down, I had a hat on pulled down over my eyes, and I'm trying to disguise myself because I already know that I ain't supposed to be on the phone. So I'm really disguising myself from the police, not even thinking the camera. But the camera caught me, but the camera couldn't see my face. And I said, nah, that wasn't me. They said, nah, that's you right there. I said, okay, show me my tattoo. Show me any identifying mark that's me. That's just a black person with a hoodie. So you say all niggas look alike, DHO? Oh, now you're calling us racist? No, it was just what you said sound racist, because you're telling me that a blurry picture of a black man with a hat on is me. You know? They said, nah, because we know what you're on the phone, it's your pack number, it's your phone number that's being used, and you use somebody's pack. I said, no, it wasn't me. But the dude had the pictures, and the lieutenant looked at me, and he looked at the DHO, and said, he ain't gonna break, you know? So they threw the charge out, you know what I mean? Now they threw the charge out, and my dumb ass go back, right? I wait about 2-3 days, and I find another engine, you know what I mean? And I get on this Indian phone, and I'm doing it again. Now, they watching me, they minding everything. I don't know they watching me. I think I'm being slick because I'm going on the phone when they call to move, because the police go stand in the front of the unit, smoke a cigarette, talk to the other police, so there's no one in there to see you except for the camera. So I got my little disguise on, I'm on the phone, I'm doing my thing, right? So now, I use the phone like 7 in the morning, got off, had to wait 30 minutes, used it again. They called that 2 phone calls. Used it for 2 minutes, got off, used it again. And that day I used the phone 24 times, right? So I used the phone 24 times. And then they call me to the lieutenant's office, and they had a real asshole, a dude named Castro that used to work there, right? Asshole. I got to tell you some story about Castro, how me and him got into it about my medical, right? And Castro gives me 24 shots. And I looked at him. I said, what is this? He said, that 24 incident report. I said, for what? He said, for using the engine's phone. I said, but he only got one phone. And they said, yeah, but you made 24 calls. I said, yeah, but he only made one phone. And the shop is saying, he said, no, well, you take that with DHO. I said, all right. So I get 24 shots. I go to DHO. When I go to DHO, I'm explaining to him, I said, look, bro, y'all give me 24 shots. I use one person pack number. The charge is for using someone else's pack number, a violation of a 203. You know what I mean? And I said, hold up. You know, how many pack numbers does that inmate have? He said, one. You only have one. And you're using someone else's, so that made two, and that's a violation of code. I said, exactly. So where does this 24 incident report come from using one pack number? And they said, no, because you used 24 times. They said, what? You're saying each time I allegedly picked up the phone and used the call, you're going to call that for one. I said, okay, so what are you trying to sanction me? What are we looking at with this? They said, well, it's 6 months for each charge, so we're going to take your phone for 12 years. I said, whoa, 12 years? They said, yeah, we're going to take your phone for 12 years. I said, nah, you ain't going to do me like that. They said, yeah, we're going to take your phone for 12 years. So now I had to figure out a way to beat it. I said, well, I'm challenging it right now. That is one pack number supposed to be one shot. They said, oh, so you pleading guilty? I said, no, I'm not pleading guilty. But I'm letting you know I'm supposed to be defending myself against one shot, not the other 23 shots, a total of 24 shots. And they said, you know what? We're going to find your black ass guilty. So they went and they found me guilty and took my phone for 12 years. I couldn't use the phone. So I appealed it. So when I appealed it, it went up to the DHO. The DHO was there. I was cool with him. He was in, the prison I was at. Then he went to the appeal service for the phones, in the central office. So now I files it to him. I beat it. I know I beat it. You know what I mean? But he sends it back for them to re-sentence me, to take away the 24 months. The 12 years for the 24 shots. So when I go there, it's a female, nice looking female, bad, look like Coco. But this is an old European. He was schooling her when he was working down there, so he didn't, and he made her the new DHO when he left. It made her his successor because she choked him off real good. So now he didn't want to go against her, because then when he come back down to that area in the prison, he can't get no more slob off. So he just told her to resentence. I go down there and she got an attitude. He said, oh, I got to resentence you, da. You know what I mean? So she turned around and she said, okay, well, I'm going to take the 12 years off, and I'm going to sentence you to 6 months loss of phone, right? She said, but I'm also going to sentence you for doing it 3 times. I said, how you going to sentence me for doing 3 times when he said you couldn't do it 24 times? Because it's only one pack number. She said, because I can do what I want to do, and I'm sucking and effing the crap out of him, and he going to do what I want. By the time you appeal it, you won't have your phone for 18 months. There's no way in hell I'm letting you walk out of here with only 6 months loss of privilege. I said, you know what? You got some real sexy lips. I can see why you got them turned out. She said, get out of my office. You know what I mean? So she kicks me out. So I go back. Now I got lost of phone. So now I got lost of phone. So now I got to put my pack number with somebody else. And I really got to double time hide. So when I go to the phone, I get 3 of my homeboys to stand up around me, like if, like a shield, like they watching the TV. And I'm sitting down on the stump and I'm bent over talking. And I sneak up to the stump. And I got to do all this to use the phone for 24 months. Then they rolled up on me and said, Unique, we seen you on the phone, man. We ain't trying to take your phone. We ain't trying to go into all that. Stop using the people pack number, because we don't want to send it back to the DHO, because she gonna screw you, and we feel you a gangster. We trying to look out. So I said, all right. So now I started, like, I tell one of the homies, here, put my wife's number on your phone. You know what I mean? Put my brother number on your phone. Put my sis number on the phone. And then I tell them to call, and I sit next to them, and they'll put the phone where I can hear what they say, and I whisper in their ear what to say, because they hear my voice going through the phone. That's called a 3-way call, and now you get a call for a 3-way call. You know what I mean? And even though you're not using someone else's pack number. So I whisper in his ear when I hear it say, yeah, the books are coming. Tell her I love her. You know, he'd be like, yeah, I love you. You know what I mean? And he said he loved you. And there was this one dude that I used to talk to make the phone calls for me. And he was just being too good. He talking to my wife on the phone, and I'm, telling her, yeah, I miss you, babe. And instead of him saying he miss you, he'll say, I miss you. And then I say, yeah, I love you. I can't wait to see you. He'd be like, I love you. Can't wait to see you. And the whole time, it's moving my body. This man is telling my woman he loves her, even though I know he's telling it for me. But in my mind, it's like, hold up, nigga, you tell her you love her? I didn't tell you to tell her you love her. I told you to tell her I love her. You know what I mean? So, of course, I had to put the knife in him, too. Forgive me. But, these are the things that we go through in prison, where I'm telling you don't go through it like that. But anyway, they wound up changing it over, and these are the different things when they went from ITS 1 to ITS 2 to use the phone. And I mean, I've never seen nothing like it. But I've been on here long enough. I just want to tell you a little bit about the phone. I'm going to get ready to go to Great Adventures today with the youth from the program that I'm working with, the the gun violence and stop the, and the restorative justice. So taking some youth to about 20, 25 kids, I'm going to Great Adventures. So, hope I make it back alive. I think I'm going to go on that lightning loop. When I was a kid, right, let me ride one. When I was a kid, me and my brother Peter, and Chris and Calvin, two brothers live around the corner. They used to come up from North Carolina, stay with their father. Their father used to take them to Great Adventures every year. He took us with us, and we go to what they call the lightning loop, where we had to walk up like 8 flights of stairs. It was a long line to get up the joint. By the time we finally get up to the joint, I see the roller coaster come rolling in, and then the brakes lock it, and it stopped. And I looked, I said, oh my God, I'm not going on that. So I told the dude, they letting people out and they getting out the other side, and we coming up this side, supposed to get in this side of the car. So I'm trying to cross over and tell him, I'm good. I'm good on this ride. And the dude said, nah, that's only for exit. I said, yeah, but I'm exiting, I said, oh. So he told me I had to go back down the way I came up. So now I had to walk down. Listen to this. I had to walk down, right, 8 flights of stairs, back down to the bottom through this big crowd coming up these stairs that's, locked in like the bars behind these type stuff. So as I'm walking down, all these people, Europeans, Chinese, black, everything, they're throwing their sodas on me. They're spitting on me. I'm a kid, and I'm just scared to get on a ride. But being that I went all the way to the top and I got to go all the way back down, they calling me a coward. They did everything shy of kicking me in the ass. You know what I mean? But they threw all kinds of crap on me, right? So now I make it down to the bottom. I got spit all in my face. I got soda on me, and I messed up. Now, they had like they probably still got it. I'm going to look if they got it when I get there. I'm going to make a video and show it to you. So they had this big like water fountain thing, that wishing well, where you throw your little coins in and you make your wish as soon as you walk in Great Adventures. Is that still there? Y'all put it in the comments. But so now I got spit, soda, everything on me, right? So I go over to the wishing well and I jump in that mother and start washing the spit off. About 100 police come, about maybe 13, about 100 police come, and they telling me to get out, and I'm trying to wash this spit and all this soda sticky on me and bees following me and all that from the sodas, and they come telling me to get out. I said, I ain't getting out. So of course they climbed in, grabbed my little young ass, took me out and gave me to Calvin's father. Calvin's father said, yo, don't ever come to my house again. You know what I mean? I brought my boys up here to show them a different way of life. I didn't bring them up here to show them your way of life. You know what I mean? So that's how, that played out at the Great Adventures joint, right? But I'm going to Great Adventures today, and I'm getting on the lightning loop. I'm getting on the same lightning loop that they spit on me, threw stuff on me, and did everything shy, kicking me in my butt. Just so you understand. All right? So I tell you about, I might even make a video with me on. I think I'm going to take my GoPro and type it on my head, tie it on my head so I can show y'all. All right?
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, yeah. Heat back on the strip, getting back in the mix. Yeah. What he mentions a gift. Bruh. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Yeah. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Real. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whiny. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, you we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we can give back to the youth them. Cause they the truth them. And bless up to all the rudiments.